Hi, my name is Kevin and I'm from Aircon STK. We're gonna cover the most common type of aircon water dripping problem, which is clogging of the drain tray or the drain pipe by jelly-like substance. This jelly is what that we flush out from the aircon condensate pipe that is buried in the concrete and out into the toilet. So this is a picture taken in one of the HDB estate, which then the condensate water pipe is on the external part of the toilet, which after flushing you can see this jelly. But in condominiums and private developments, they normally bury the condensate pipe inside this floor trap. So whatever jelly that you get flushed out gets dumped straight into the U trap or the sewage trap, so you can't really see them. This jelly is what we call a biofilm. You can just Google, read more about this biofilm, and understand what exactly is this biofilm. And actually, it is bacterial, and a biofilm forms on any stagnant water. So it's no surprise. I mean, no matter how clean the environment is, as long as there's stagnant water, there's slow moving water, you get biofilm. Just like what we see in the olden days, those where people put water in a big tank. At the base of the tank, you get this biofilm. So, and the this biofilm, once it gets in contact with dust, with oil particles, bacteria starts to multiply, and then it may become more aggressive. So water dripping problem should not be seen as the dripping itself as the problem. The water dripping is just a symptom of a more severe aircon problem, which is the presence of bacteria, and often comes hand in hand is the presence of mold particles, mold, mold on the blower, mold at the back of the aircon, and as such, to just purge the jelly out from the water pipe, that's gonna solve your water dripping problem. But I mean, look at this, this is terrible. And we have lift up this fan coil to expose the internal parts of the aircon. This is the said water tray. Wow, look at this mold that is growing internally. I mean, you're not gonna address this. I mean, you're just gonna push out the water from the pipe. That's silly, isn't it? And let's take a look at some other pictures. Okay, this picture is a picture taken after we have removed the blower. Look at the internal parts of the aircon, the back. And you will notice that this part is much cleaner than the upper portion. That's because during the normal or general cleaning process, the technician has attempted to wipe as far deep as what the fingers can reach over here. And whatever that they can't reach, he has already started a mold colony. So the but there's also something that I want to discuss with you is that, okay, what about this mold, what about this bacteria? Is it really that bad? Am I gonna fall sick? The good news is that probably not. It's just that it is very disgusting. And just like one of my customers has put it across to me very candidly, he said, I mean, if you're in a lift and somebody farted, are you gonna fall sick? Obviously not, but probably you're just gonna feel really uncomfortable and maybe nausea, but that's on the psychological level. And but should we be concerned with mold and jelly growing in an aircon? The answer is yes and no. And let's examine why you should be doing a proper cleaning versus why you shouldn't. So what happens is that what that always comes hand in hand with water leaking problem is that you got this jelly, you got this mold. And once you have this mold that grows to this size, it's gonna restrict the airflow because it blocks the flaps, or rather the veins, or the fan blades, and obviously your aircon is not scooping up air, and it affects your cooling efficiency. So in general servicing, basically somebody comes, takes a vacuum, and they try to vacuum away these mold particles. And trust me, a lot of technician is not aware that these are mold. They may thought that these are dust particles, and they say, hey, your estate is very dusty. But trust me, this is not dust, this is mold. Look at the shape of this fella. And how do you know if it's mold or not? Is that, I mean, we've been in this industry for more than 10 years. We've seen so many aircon before. And one thing remains common, is that in places that is not well ventilated, these are families that always have water leaking problems. These are families that have more problems. And the situation becomes worse if there's presence of oil particles. So families that cooks a lot, families that uses essential oil, they burn essential oil, they use fresheners. So you are actually releasing oil particles into the premise. Worse if it's not well ventilated, no crosswind. So what exactly is happening is that when the air has got these oil particles, when you turn on the aircon, it scoops the air into the system. It deposits a thin layer of oil on the back part of the aircon. It deposits a thin layer on the blower. It deposits a thin layer of oil on the fan coil itself. So aircon being cold has got condensation. There'll be a thin layer of moisture formed at the back of the aircon, the blower, and of course the fan coil is super duper wet. So with oil, basically it is nutrient rich. To bacteria, to mold, they are food. So that's why mold and jelly problem is more apparent in places that is oily and not well ventilated. With good ventilation, how does it improve? First is that, especially with good crosswind, don't mistaken ventilation with circulation. You close the windows up, you don't ventilate the place, you turn on the fan, there is only circulation. The oil particle is just spinning around in your apartment, it's not getting out. And cross ventilation and ventilation, there is also a difference. You open windows on one side of the room, yes, maybe you get some fresh air coming in, but it's not as good as having windows across, whereby wind can actually pass through, and that is the most effective way to pull out whatever contaminants that is in your room, volatile organic compound, whatever. I mean, those things, that the air that is in your room. I mean, there's more than abundant of information on YouTube, on the internet, regarding contaminants in the room. I mean, you can read it up. So with good cross ventilations, these oil particles also get a chance to escape. So otherwise you get this very moldy aircon. So in conclusion, what that I'm trying to share with you is that never vacuum this, because when you vacuum this fella, it takes out the big chunk of the mold, but then the it it can't it can't it can't take out the mold that has adhered to the surface. So what happens is that they attach a brush to the tip of the vacuum, and they stir it around, so trying to dislodge the mold, and then using the vacuum to suck away the mold that has actually dislodged. The problem with this method is that we've never seen a vacuum that's so powerful that it can take out all of the mold. And what happens is that it will still remain a thin layer of mold, and unfortunately some of the mold, through the brushing action, has become detached from the surface, but yet it's not been removed by the vacuum. So when you turn on the aircon, it starts becoming airborne, depositing on the floors, on your bed, on your table, or maybe when you are passing by, you actually breathe it in. So um, you may fall sick from this. It's just may. It's not that you are guaranteed to fall sick, you're gonna die from it. No, it's not like that. It depends on your body constituency. So do not freak out. I'm not trying to scare the hell out of you from this video. But be very careful when you have elderly or young children at home, especially babies, infants, because they crawl, their fingers, their feet is always touching in contact with the floor, with tables, with furnitures, everything. And the worst thing is that they put everything in their mouth, their fingers, including feet. I mean, as adults, we can't do that, but these guys, they are so flexible. And of course, if you have sick people at home with a compromised uh, immune system, be very careful. Um, Especially be very careful with the methods that you use for doing to cleaning up these fellas, because um, if you don't touch it, chances are it's not gonna make you fall sick. But if you vacuum that mold, and you are just gonna make it, you're gonna dislodge some, causing them to be airborne. When you have a condition of water dripping problem, please do a proper chemical cleaning. Make sure that the mold is totally removed. If you were to look at another aspect of why you should clean it up properly, is that you take out the big chunk, you leave a small little mold particle down there. Without totally wiping it out, it grows back. So you come to think about it, in the first year of new aircon installation, hey, it lasts you for 1 good year. Why is it that on the subsequent years, after you do general servicing, it seems to come back more often, every 3 months, every 6 months? The reason is because it's not been totally wiped out. It grows back. So if you clean it up properly, then it reinstates the aircon back to factory condition. If it takes a year before the mold grows, then it takes another year. But if you don't clean it up properly, it comes back every 3 months. And every 3 months with the wrong cleaning methods, it's gonna deposit those mold, it's gonna cause it to become airborne. And the amount of money that you're gonna spend asking these guys to come back so often, and maybe with the visits to the doctor, I think it only makes sense that you clean it up properly. And of course, is that when the aircon is not properly cleaned, it consumes more electricity, and when it all adds up, it is just not making any sense for you to do general servicing whenever you have a water dripping problem. So, in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is that water dripping is just a symptom of a more severe aircon problem. Address to the root of the problem, and the symptom will relieve by itself. Thank you once again for watching my video, and once again, my name is Kevin from Aircon STK. Bye bye.